We have a lot going on. We'll start with headlines here. And Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. I'm going to start with this bit of NFL news. I find it very interesting. Ian Rappaport, and obviously the NFL League owners meetings have been ongoing this week. Ian Rappaport tweeted from NFL Network, the proposal to make roughing the passer reviewable was not approved, source said.
Yeah, I was bummed by that because, man, they seem to get that wrong a lot. There's some of those. I know they try to call it close because they want to protect the quarterbacks. There are some of them, once you look at it on replay, wasn't touched.
No. I agree with you, but I don't, because it can't be wrong because there's not a real rule. It's not how much pressure you put on him. If it looks bad, how you fall on him. Because some guys fall and try to hold themselves up, but weight still hits
right.
Them. There's no set rule on this.
I get that.
Thing.
Well, you're not allowed to land with all your body weight on the quarterback. I get that. Mm-hmm. But there are times where a roughing the passer is called where literally it seems like the quarterback wasn't even touched.
Yeah.
So in that instance, remember they tried it for a couple seasons with PI.
Yeah.
And it's a very subjective call, and they stopped doing it because it's a very subjective call. But man, there are some that are so glaringly wrong.
And that's why they don't want to review it, because of the fact that who's going to call down and say it's right or wrong? It's just like basketball when they're letting them get a little chippy this game. In the defensive secondary, these refs are letting them get physical. That's really, if you want to break that comment down, they're letting them hold in the secondary. But they don't say it that way.
Right.
They're letting them get a little physical out there. So depending on what ref is there, they see things differently.
I just wish that there was kind of like a caveat to the rule. Unless it's egregiously bad, we all see it and the play hasn't been run yet, then we reserve the right to step in and say, you know what? That wasn't roughing the passer.
But that's why it would be hard. What's his name? What is it? Joe Tessitore?
Joe Tessitore.
That they call all the time during reviews. It would be
Joe Tessitore's
is that Joe Tessitore?
No, just that Joe Tessitore's an announcer. You're talking about
something with a T. They always call him in New York.
They've
been having him on
in the NCAA.
Multiple sports.
I'm drawing a blank. A buddy of mine,
dark-haired dude.
Yeah, Gene Steratore.
There we go. I was close.
Yeah.
It would be him saying, "Oh well, I think the ref saw that differently than I do." That's all he would be saying, because it's subjective, like you said. They can't. Half of these calls they couldn't review, because I could go back. If you call holding, I could go back to play before and show you the same thing on the other side of the
right, but it's not a litigation. I mean, you can't go back and use prior precedent. Like, it's just that particular play.
He held. Brown versus Board of Education said that. But no, I'm telling you, they would love them to get it right, but there's no way to review this.
I disagree, though. Last year, it happened to the Dolphins. There were several instances, but it happened to the Dolphins. In L.A., the Dolphins were struggling all game to move the ball. Jalen Phillips sacks Justin Herbert, and they throw a flag, and it was the most egregiously incorrect call of roughing the passer. Allow coaches to use one of their challenges to challenge it, and if it's as egregious as that one was, then you've used a challenge.
Egregiously, that's all I'm saying. Allow it to be challengeable, and it has to be egregiously incorrect.
Nope.
It's 305.
Dale.
Plus, dale.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Don't hit the quarterback in the head. That's the rule, right?
Yes.
But if you hit him close enough to the head, they're still going to throw the flag. If his head buckles, if his neck
that's what I'm saying. But if you see in the replay that he didn't hit him in the head, then allow that to be reversed.
But then his head snapped. So now
that's on Tua.
It would be referees questioning their own subjective thought.
And they should.
But
305, by the
subjective.
Way, sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
If you allow it to be reviewable only by coach's challenge, then what you're doing is you're risking a challenge throughout the game. You only have 2 of them, unless you get both of them right. So coaches, unless it's one of those that is so egregiously incorrect, aren't going to throw a challenge flag because there's no incentive to do it.
Exactly.
But if it's one of those where it was clearly the wrong call. Again, I keep going back to Jalen Phillips
Yeah.
in LA. It wasn't even close to being roughing the passer. The Dolphins could have used a challenge flag there, and the incentive would have been, that was such a bad call. We know that you messed up the official and you're going to overturn it.
Is it the one where he laid his hips on him?
Yeah.
The one where his hips laid on him.
He
He
just
pushed
fell.
his upper body up. I know what
Exactly.
you're talking about. He let his lower body weight lay on Herbert's body. You're not supposed to let your weight lay on anybody. Does it have to be your upper body weight?
Unless they consent. All right, we've solved it once again. What else do you have in the headlines?
You want to do this, right? I guess so.
If I must. All right, rest of the headlines.
You want to hear from Mike McDaniel
Circles.
yesterday?
Yeah, what did he say?
He's in his bag yesterday, man. You guys see the suit he was wearing? The blazer was like a sports blazer. It almost looked like a sweater. You know, it was a blazer on top.
Yeah.
But the sleeves were like sport trainer sweater where he just had it rolled up. Man,
Like nothing that Pete Carroll could wear, nothing that Andy Reid could wear. Like he leans into his size, his age, and his look.
Yes.
I like that.
he dressed
Because
for-
Andy Reid does too. Andy Reid leans into it. Wears the Hawaiian shirts,
of course.
cargo shorts,
The
like
big shoulder
yeah, you just
strap,
lean into it.
Terminator,
Lean into it.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That cross the chest walkie-talkie kills me.
I don't think they call it a walkie-talkie.
What is it? PA system?
It's like a radio, isn't it? I mean,
I think it's a walkie-talkie if you got to cross your
if
chest.
it's a PA system, it's great. Attention, attention.
Patrick. Patrick.
Patrick. RPO. RPO.
Damn, PAs would help us defensively.
Funny. Yeah, so what do you have here from Mike McDaniel?
Several things that we'll get to throughout the show, but yesterday discussed Tua's fifth-year option, said it was basically a no-brainer to give it to him.
The scenario of picking up the fifth-year option gives Tua the best chance to be his best and is the best thing for the organization. That's what we're really chasing. We're chasing that where both parties maximized in opportunity. And so once we knew that, then, I hadn't really paid attention to the, fifth-year option timeline. It was more like, all right, well, you know what? Especially the media members that are in South Florida, they need to know this. We need to tell them this fifth-year option is, once we knew, we knew. So hopefully it was that way I didn't have to play unnecessary poker face for no reason. We knew once we did our due diligence in our process, it made a ton of sense to us. So we wanted to communicate and get that done and move forward with our lives.
That's funny. He's like, we needed to figure it out. Once we did, we had to let the media know. He's great. I like him.
His long-winded around the world answers
He leans into it.
are cute locally.
No,
I
I'm
get a little embarrassed nationally.
no, I disagree. I think in this setting, owners' meetings, give me that. You don't need that necessarily post-game. You don't need that in the Monday press conference. Owners' meetings in March in Phoenix, yeah, show out a little bit.
It's
Show
like
them who you are, coach.
when my daughter was little, she would talk to already cooked food and act like the salmon knows what's going on, act like the cow of the steak knows what's going on.
Gotta be
And
a
it-
terrible conversation.
And it's cute. She would say, "Oh, the salmon's sad that the broccoli is getting eaten." And I'd be like, "Well, Ava, you're about to eat the salmon too." But he wants that. He likes it. He knows it's his
But the
purpose.
salmon was actually a living fish just moments, or a couple weeks prior.
And the conversation came that, Ava, I don't want to be your friend if you're going to befriend me and then eat me for dinner.
Right.
So we had this whole conversation.
Huh.
But the moral of the story is I had to explain to her these fake relationships with edible items can only happen at home.
Mm.
Don't go to grandma's house you're talking to your hamburger.
Right.
They're going to think you're crazy.
Lunchroom at school.
I think we need to talk to Mike and say, Mike, keep the craziness in
No.
South Florida.
I love it.
You got to talk
Show
to
them
him
who you
sometimes.
are, coach.
Yeah,
Show them who you
I
are.
don't like it.
I disagree, by the way, with you, Hawk, because you're saying NFL owners meeting, that's the time and the place, not on a Monday press conference. Man, I couldn't disagree more. I love this round table effect that he has. We're just sitting down, shooting bleep. Everybody's kind of huddled around him, asking him questions.
But he doesn't get that in the post-game press conference.
Well, that's what I want, though.
Oh.
Get rid of the podium. Me and Tobin were talking about this yesterday. Get rid of the podium. Mondays, Wednesdays, when he's talking to the media, just give him a picnic table. He doesn't even sit down on it. He kind of just, squat with the legs open.
Forget that. Give him a blackjack table.
Yes.
Dress him as a dealer and have, Adam Beasley in one slot, Chris Perkins in another. You fill it with media members, but it's kind of like the dealer who's shooting the bleep with you while you're playing a little blackjack.
It's a genius idea.
That would be great.
I like it.
You still have connections with the Dolphins, Solana?
Nope.
All right, bring it up on the porpoise,
I call him that more.
if you would.
I don't know if he likes me already, so I'll push the envelope.
Likes your dad.
He really likes my
Has
dad.
to like you because he likes your dad.
I'm an inherited friend.
You're an inherited friend.
Damn, why your daddy had to be Randy. I can't stand this guy.